My name is Obianuju, and I'm the marketing lead at Signal Alliance Consulting, which is one of the subsidiaries of Signal Alliance Technology Holdings. Signal Alliance Technology Holdings is a leading technology group in Africa. We have operations in Nigeria, other parts of Africa, and of course, the Middle East. We also have 3 subsidiaries and other portfolio companies. And then one of the subsidiaries is Signal Alliance Consulting, which focuses on enterprise businesses. And the other one is CloudSAR, which is a cloud solution company. So today we are going to be having this webinar. We're going to learn how we can build a secure and productive hybrid workplace with effective endpoint management. So the things we stand to learn on this call today would be to protect data of company-owned and bring our own devices while managing all compliance requirements across each devices. Of course, we have our technical guys here. I'm not a technical person, so they will do justice to this. Aside from the technical part, there's also a business perspective to this, which are going to break it down into details and explain to us. So few housekeeping rules. Kindly raise your hands if you have questions. Use the comment section if you have questions. Don't unmute your mic, please. And let's also be respectful of each other's opinions and questions. So I have Farouk Bakari. Farouk Bakari is the team lead for Microsoft 365 and Azure Security and Fast Track. He's going to be taking us on the theoretical parts and basic parts of this session. I also have Usman and Olaito, who are our in-house engineers. They'll be taking us on the other parts of this session. This session is going to last for an hour, and it's very important we keep to time. So the first 30 minutes, the first 15 minutes will be for Farouk. The next 20 minutes will be for Usman and Olaito, and the other part of the session would now be for our questions and our answers. It promises to be very insightful. I also like to recognize Microsoft team on the call, Prakash and Aditi. Thank you very much for handholding us, and we're having this session today. So without further much ado, Farouk, you have the floor if you are ready.
Okay, yeah. Thank you so much for the wonderful introduction, Uju. Yeah, am I audible? I'd like to confirm if I'm audible, and if you can all see my screen as well. Can I have a thumbs up just for the confirmation? Can you also see my screen? Am I audible?
Yes.
Oh, okay,
We
okay.
can see your screen. So because you're sharing your screen, you can't see that they are giving you a thumbs up, but we can all see your screen.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much. Just as Obianuju mentioned, right? I'm Farouk by name. I'm a cloud solution and security architect, and I work with Signal Alliance as the team lead, Microsoft 365 and Azure Security. Right. So I'll be taking us on a I'll be taking us on a solution which you can use to unlock your unified endpoint management solution with what is called the Microsoft, not even the Microsoft, the almighty Microsoft Intune. I know some of us are actually familiar with Microsoft Intune, but I have some new features that I'll get to introduce to us today. And I'm sure that after the whole presentation, we wouldn't have any choice than to embrace the almighty Microsoft Intune. Okay, so what are we going to be talking about? We'll be talking about what is currently happening today, right? After then, we'll also talk about how we can get to manage endpoints from anywhere using the unified endpoint management solution. And also, we'll also talk about how we can get to modernize your journey. That's your endpoint journey with Signal Alliance. And lastly, I'll talk about the new feature, which is called the Microsoft Intune Suite, right? Uju mentioned that I would present for a while and my colleagues will also come in, right? So, but I'm going to do the whole presentation so that we can get to manage the whole time. Okay, now, so looking at the world today, I know most of us, like not even everybody generally, we've been seeing the way AI has been going, the likes of ChatGPT, Microsoft Copilot, a lot of AI-enabled solutions are running up and down, right? So now, and The way all these AI solutions are actually coming up everywhere, we need to also consider that the likes of cyber criminals, they would also want to they would also want to use this AI that is going up and down. They would also want to use it as an advantage to be able to penetrate into different environments. So by prediction, right, by 2025, the consummation of AI-enabled fraud would fundamentally change the likes of enterprise attack surface. So what this is trying to tell us is that very soon, because of the way AI is going, right, a lot of cyber criminals will be taking advantage of this. And we as an organization, we need to come up with proactive measures and adaptive approach to be able to properly strengthen ourselves from all these cyber crimes or all these cyber criminals that would want to utilize the AI-enabled threat. So we need to come out with approaches and measures to be proactive enough for us to be able to prevent ourselves from all these things that the cyber criminals will get to use. Also, looking at the way the organization is today, right? 75% of organizations, they are kind of pursuing security vendor consolidation because looking at the way it is now, a lot of organizations, they are actually, or should I say majority of the organizations, they are actually seeking for ways for them to reduce the number of security vendors they get to utilize. There are some organizations that get to utilize several security vendors, and they have a lot of challenges they are facing because they need to train their staffs in how to utilize all those security vendors they are using, which would give them an high cost, right? So most organizations are looking for ways for them to be able to consolidate all these their security vendor so that they can have a streamlined solution that can help them to properly protect their environment, right? So those are the things that we have in the world today. So taking step forward, or so now looking at the technology environment these days, the complexity of this technology environment is actually being characterized by the interconnections between various types of devices, right? We have different various type of devices and system, right? We have diverse range of technologies. A lot of organization works from different cloud services. They use different software as a service applications. Some people get to work from home. Some people use their corporate owned devices. Some people use their personal devices. Some people work from on-premise environment, right? So we need to ensure that as we are utilizing all these things, right, we have a security measure in place for us to be able to properly secure our environment and be able to properly protect our users as they are connecting to all these applications from different environments, right? So that's what will lead us to what is called the zero trust principle, right? So now what is zero trust principle? As the name implies, zero trust, that means I'm not giving any trust. Let me give an example now. Let's say we want to visit the Aso Rock, or probably I want to visit maybe the president at the Aso Rock, right? I can't just go to the Aso Rock and they would allow me to come in, right? The security in the Aso Rock will be so tight because they wouldn't want to trust anyone to come in. So they are having the likes of zero trust principle at that Aso Rock because they can't just allow me to come. If I can come in, they are going to evaluate me. I have to give them I have to give them the likes of my identity. I have to tell them what I'm coming to do, right? They have to go through different screenings before I can be able to go in. So the same thing is coming into our infrastructure environment, right? So that's where we have what is called the zero trust principle, whereby you are not trusting anything to come into your environment. If you want to come in, you must go through the due procedure. So that means we are having a complete end-to-end security. So that's what zero trust is all about. And organizations in general, you need to always ensure that you have this zero trust principle enabled in your environment. And I'm going to tell us three things under the zero trust principle. The first one is verified explicitly. The second one is to use the likes of least privilege access. And the third one is to always assume bridges, right? So now from the first part, which is verifying explicitly, as an organization, right, you need to ensure that, or you need to always ensure that your authentication and authorization are coming based on all available data, right? Don't just allow users to sign in into your environment because I have an email address. Let's say, for instance, I work with um organization Hey. So because I have an email address of organizehey.com, I shouldn't just be able to go in. As an organization, you need to ensure that users authenticate and authorize based on all the available data points before they can be able to go in, right? So, and this data point includes the likes of user identity. That means you need to verify the identity of the users through the likes of multi-factor authentication, such as passwordless, biometrics, security tokens, right? You need to consider the location at which the user is coming in from, ensuring access is only granted to authorized regions, and detecting the likes of suspicious activities from unexpected locations, right? So that means you need to verify the likes of user identity, you need to verify the location, you need to also verify the health of the device at which the person is coming from. So you need to assume the health and security posture of the devices that are being used to access your environment, checking for the likes of malware infections, outdated up outdated softwares, and other vulnerabilities before you can allow users to penetrate into your environment. So you need to ensure that all these authentications, or you need to ensure that all these datas are being verified or are being authorized before authentication will go in. So by incorporating all these data points into your authentication and authorization process, right, organization can get to enhance the likes of security posture, mitigate risk, and safeguard sensitive information efficiently, right? So don't just allow users to go in because they have your email address. You need to evaluate the entire data point, right? That's the first one. The second one is that you need to use the likes of least privileged access to allow people to be able to perform um, tasks that they want to do in the organization, right? So implementing the likes of just-in-time access, just enough access, risk-based access control, and data protection measures, right? By coming up with all these strategies, organization can get to strike a balance between the security and productivity, right? So that means you are not just allowing users to be able to go in and do anything. So you are giving them the likes of just-in-time access, risk-based adaptive control policies, which will help you to balance both the security and productivity. And the last one is that you need to assume the likes of breaches, right? That means you need to verify end-to-end encryption and use the likes of analytics to gain visibility and detect threats and improve your defense in your environment. So we should note it down today that we must always ensure the zero trust principle in our environment so that we can properly secure our environment. So moving
Hi,
step forward.
Farouk. Sorry to cut you short for a bit. So there's been a bit of a problem. A lot of people can't see your screen. I have asked in the chat area, and I've asked them to leave the call and join back again, but they're still having the same issue. So sorry to
So
interrupt you. Is there something you can do? Do you want to stop sharing and start sharing again? If
yeah,
you don't mind, please.
let me stop sharing our share.
Okay, thank you very much.
How about now? Can you also see my screen? Idru, can you help me confirm that? Can you give a thumbs up if you can see my screen?
Okay, yes, people have started to confirm they can see your screen. So just give them a bit of time so that we can get more confirmation. Okay, Chibuze says yes, Edward says yes, Chukuma says yes, Dare says yes. Please, if you can see his screen. Yeah. Okay, Prakash says yes, Samuel says yes. Okay.
Okay.
So for the
Yeah.
sake of time, Farouk, I would want you to, hasten up. We are already 17 minutes past our time, and this webinar is just for 1 hour. So now that a lot of people can see your screen, let's go on with the webinar. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Uju. Apologies for that. Um, Moving step forward, the unified endpoint management solution which I want to talk about is what is called the Microsoft Intune. And Microsoft Intune plays a crucial role in Zero Trust, right? So now, Microsoft Intune, the role of Microsoft Intune in Zero Trust architecture is to protect access to the likes of organization data, right? You need to protect, or Microsoft Intune will protect access and data on organization-owned devices, personal devices, and also get to enforce the likes of risk-based access control, right? It also allows you to be able to configure the likes of policies for applications, security settings, device configuration, compliance, and you can also get to integrate it with the likes of conditional access. You can also get to integrate it with the likes of mobile threat defense services, just as Defender for Endpoint, and even if you have third-party services, you can also get to integrate it with it, whereby you can create policies to help you to respond to threats and to do the likes of real-time risk analysis and automate the likes of remediation, right? So Microsoft Intune, it plays a crucial role in enabling secure access to your corporate data, right? So as you can see, in terms of Microsoft Zero Trust, we have a lot of solutions that are there, from the SIM solution to the identity monitoring to the app and data monitoring to the device and email monitoring, right? So Microsoft Intune plays a crucial role in enabling all these things within your environment, right? So now moving step forward, I've been talking about unified endpoint, right? So I also want to bring to us what is called the modern management, right? Because this our unified endpoint solution, which is Microsoft Intune, is a modern management solution. So now, what do we refer to as modern management? Modern management refers to like an approach to managing and securing devices, applications, data within an organization environment, right? And this would gives you the likes of efficiency, flexibility for you to meet the evolving need of modern workplace and digital transformation, right? So now there are different characteristics that comes with this modern management, which includes the likes of cloud native, right? So there's no need for on-premise for you to utilize this unified endpoint management. It's a user-centric solution. And what does user-centric means? User-centric means the approach whereby you get to prioritize user experience, that's end user experience, over the kind of device or over the kind of platform that they are using to access certain environment, right? It also has a support for hybrid, right? And also, it also supports the likes of BYOD devices and organization-owned devices. And it also has a security integrated, whereby it can come with your zero trust security. So the unified endpoint management has all the solution. Microsoft Intune, you don't need to start setting up on-premise infrastructure before you can be able to use Microsoft Intune, and it is user-centric. It has a support for hybrid environment because most organizations now they get to operate in an hybrid form. So Microsoft Intune has the support for that, whereby you can get to co-manage the Intune with your existing configuration manager, right? And it also supports BYOD and organization-owned devices, right? So this unified endpoint solution supports the modern management which we are currently operating on, right? So now moving step forward to what the unified endpoint solution is itself, which is called the Microsoft Intune. So Microsoft Intune is a unified solution which you can use to manage your endpoint that is sitting anywhere, right? And it crosses across different platforms from Windows to Mac operating system to iOS to Android and to Linux operating system. So you can use Microsoft Intune to manage both your corporate owned devices and your BYOD device from a centralized dashboard, or should I say from a centralized portal. So with Microsoft Intune, if you have, you can even use it to manage both your enrolled device and unenrolled device, whereby the mobile application management will come in. And it helps with three different things. It comes with simplified management, right? It also helps you to protect your hybrid workforce. It also gives you a power better user experience, right? Whereby you can get to protect your users' applications, your users' data across any kind of device they have, right? So I'm going to be talking about these three things one after the other in the coming slide, right? So now moving a step forward. So this Microsoft Intune, because looking at the way most organizations operate, organizations they get to have the likes of contractors, people get to use company managed devices. There are a lot of public kiosk users, people get to use different third-party applications, right? So this Microsoft Intune gives you the flexibility and control for you to be able to secure your data on any kind of device, even if the device is not managed, right? So if your device is not managed, there are some organizations that would say, no, okay, because our users are using their personal devices, we don't want to manage their device. Microsoft Intune can even give you the flexibility and control to secure the data on those kind of devices, right? So with Microsoft Intune, we have two parts. We have the device management and we have the application management. So the device management is when you get to enroll the device for management, and you can get to provision the likes of settings, the likes of certificate, configuration profiles for you to be able to manage devices. And you can also have a report dashboard for device complexity and all those things from the portal. And if there's any need for you to wipe the device, you can always remove the corporate data from the device. And you can also get to integrate the likes of conditional access to restrict access to certain applications and to restrict access to non-compliant devices, right? That's for the device management. So for the application management, you can use Microsoft Intune to publish mobile applications to users. You can get to configure and update those applications, right? That means you can get to configure and update apps. You can also have a report of application inventory and usage from the Intune portal as well. And if the user is leaving your organization, you can securely retire and remove the corporate data from the user's mobile devices, right? So there are some organizations that have the makings of line of business application. You can also use Microsoft Intune to connect those line of business applications to your unmanaged devices, whereby your users can get to access those line of business application directly from their BYOD device, right? And you can also get to integrate the likes of conditional access to the devices, whereby you can restrict access to applications using what is called the application protection policy, right? So moving step forward under the simplified endpoint management. So imagine if you could get to simplify your IT processes and reduce the likes of complexity and cost. Looking at the world today, there are multiple tools out there that you get to use management, that you get to manage, that you get to use to manage your devices in terms of management, in terms of security, in terms of visibilities, right? And also there are limited IT resources, right? With Microsoft Intune, you can have a management and a security tool from a single solution. That means I'm having a management and I'm having a security solution from, I'm having a management and I'm having a security tool from a single solution, which is called the Microsoft Intune, right? You could also have the complete visibility and actionable data across all your data from a centralized portal. And from this Microsoft Intune, you can get to manage your device regardless of the ownership. And this would help you to increase IT efficiency and reduce costs. So tell me why you wouldn't use Microsoft Intune. So moving step forward, I just want to give us a day in day life scenario. So I have a user or I have an IT administrator in my organization who is Dami, right? So Dami needs to support, it needs to support users' devices, right? And he realizes that in his environment, they have different kind of devices. They have iOS devices. They have different kind of operating system. So now Dami realizes that he can manage most of all these devices using Microsoft Intune irrespective of the operating system version. They have Windows operating system, they have Android, they have Mac. So Dami realizes that he can get to manage all these devices using Microsoft Intune. He can also get to manage both BYOD devices, on-premise devices using the Microsoft Intune. So Dami saves time and it also saves money using Microsoft Intune. Instead of him using one solution to manage Windows operating system, using another solution to manage Android devices, using another solution. So it's saving money for his organization and it's also saving the time that he's going to use to start managing different solutions, right? So Microsoft Intune gives us a simplified endpoint management. And also, with this Microsoft Intune, you have a central location whereby you can get to manage your on-premise and cloud-based endpoint, right? It also helps you to empower your advanced endpoint management and gives you a security tool from a single and a cloud-powered solution, right? It also helps you to reduce the cost of hardware. You don't need to start coming up with cost of hardware, licensing, maintenance, right? Then it also gives you the visibility for you to know the health and compliance state of all your devices. From this my left hand side, you can see a screen showing my devices. As you can see, the names of my devices, how it's being managed. Is it a corporate device? Is it compliance? What's the operating system, the version, the last checked in, right? So it gives you a visibility for you to be able to properly manage and have a proactive visibility and control on all your devices. And it also gives you secure access to both your cloud and on-premise applications. And you can also get to proactively manage your update patches and policies across platforms and applications, right? Moving step forward to the next one, which is called protect a hybrid workforce, right? So imagine if you could protect your hybrid workers with integrated management and security. Right, so with Microsoft Intune, it will give you the likes of data protection, regardless of the enrollment. Right, you can also get to integrate it with conditional access. I mean, with risk-based conditional access, whereby it gives you risk-based policies. Right, it also gives you the flexibility for you to be able to control and enable threat protections across the platforms. So also with the integrated endpoint security, it also gives you a zero trust, right? So it's giving you an integrated endpoint security and compliance for your zero trust. So with all these things, you can get to protect your hybrid workforce from Microsoft Intune. Still on the protecting hybrid workforce, with Microsoft Intune, you can also get to integrate it with other solutions like Microsoft Entra and Defender for Endpoint, whereby it can help you to verify your user identity with strong authentication method. It can allow only verified applications. Let's say, for instance, as an organization, we don't want users to be able to use other third-party applications to access our emails. So you can use Microsoft Intune to enforce those verifications, right? It can also help you to reduce the risk with data protection on all devices, regardless of the ownership, right? So this gives us an endpoint security together with a zero trust approach, right? Moving step forward, right? Microsoft Intune can also gives us the can also help us to proactively detect and respond to threats within our environment. So you can get to integrate it with Defender for Endpoint, whereby you can create policies to automatically investigate alerts and remediate threats faster. Then you can also get to stop malicious activities from untrusted and trusted application. Then you can also get to revoke access from resources in real time. right? So all these things are coming from the Microsoft Intune. So now let me just give us another day in life scenario, right? So because we've moved to power better user experience with Microsoft Intune, you can also have a power better user experience. So in this example now, in this day-to-day scenario, I have Usman. Usman is an help desk support uh, person, right? He gets to support his team members, right? So Usman needs to support a particular end user by troubleshooting an application. And this end user is working from a branch environment, right? Not working from the head office. So with Microsoft Intune remote help session, right? Intune can initiate a remote help, right? So once Intune initiates the remote help, that means it's going to remote into the user's PC using the remote help. So it can be able to properly help the user to troubleshoot what is going on, to troubleshoot the application that the user is having issue with, right? And before Usman will be allowed to remote into the user's PC, it's going to go through, the remote help will go through the likes of background verification, whereby it has been integrated with the likes of Active Directory, the likes of conditional access before Usman will be permitted to be able to remote into the user's PC. So with this thing, you can have a powerful and a better user experience with Microsoft Intune. So now, and lastly, in terms of Microsoft Intune, before I move to the Intune suite, you can also have a with Microsoft Intune, you can also proactively manage the quality of your user experience, whereby you can use the likes of device health score to improve your everyday experience. So from the endpoint analytics, it gives you like an assessment on your device and it gives you a particular health score and it gives you improvement actions that you can use to improve the health score of your users' devices, right? It can also help you to remediate the likes of issues. Like you can create policies to remediate issues before those issues get to impact your users, right? So it also gives you the likes of robustic approach for you to be able to properly, proactively manage your user experience, right? So that's about the Microsoft Intune. So I want to move to the new solution which we have, which is called the Microsoft Intune Suite. So now, looking at the Microsoft Intune Suite, Microsoft Intune Suite is a solution, right? It's a new solution that gives is a new solution that has a single solution integrated with the likes of advanced capability to simplify endpoint management while reducing the likes of cost, right? So it goes beyond bringing it goes beyond you having one unified solution. So imagine you having one single solution that can help you with the likes of advanced capabilities like remote help, advanced app management, cloud-based certificate management, endpoint analytics, endpoint privilege management, and even tunnel for your mobile application management, right? So imagine you having all these things. So looking at the way the world is before, if you want to do the likes of remote help, that means you must install certain application on user's PC for it to be able to remote into user's PC. For advanced app management, for advanced endpoint analytics, you need to use another solution, which you need to install agent on user's PC as well. You want to set up certificate. So you installing all these agents on user's PC is giving the user's PC, is even reducing the efficiency of those users' PCs, right? And you as an admin yourself, right? You have headache in managing different tools, or you have an headache in managing different tools for achieving all these things that Microsoft Intune Suite can come up with for you. So with Microsoft Intune Suite, it comes with an advanced capabilities whereby you can have a unified endpoint management from one solution, and it leverages the Microsoft Intelligent Services such as the likes of best-in-class solution to protect your organization against cyber attacks, right? So that is what Microsoft Intune is. So it comes with the likes of remote help. Remote help is a cloud-based solution which helps your users to be able to connect remotely to your end users, right? So I'll be talking about all these solutions one after the other, right? So I'll start with the first one, which is called the endpoint management. So now let's start with Windows endpoint provision in our environment. Looking at most organizations now, we don't really give our end users local admin rights. But there are some things or there are some apps that requires or that frequently requires elevation of privilege before they can work, right? And most organizations, we don't give our end users this particular right? But we need to also give them because they need to work. They need to perform certain tasks. But we shouldn't forget that leaving all these things is also getting to increase the security risk of privilege escalation, such as maybe if you allow your end users to be able to do things, they can just try to install malware applications, they can install credential theft application on their PC, right? So with the new Microsoft endpoint privilege management capabilities, this can help you to solve this kind of scenarios whereby it allows your organization to be able to allow end users to be able to run certain processes, run certain applications using a privileged admin right. Me as a standard user, I can get to run certain processes, I can get to run certain applications, I can get to complete certain tasks using a privileged elevated right. So this would help to balance the likes of security requirements and also end user experience. So as a user now, I need to install an application on my PC, right? Because I'm a standard user, I can't install the application. I can just right click on the application, request for privileged admin rights, and the admin will get to see a notification from their end and they can get to approve it, right? So this would help us to increase the organization efficiency and security, right? It would also help to eliminate the need of giving people local admin rights, right? Which will keep the entire enterprise, that's the entire environment, more secured. This can also help us to reduce the likes of attack surface and protect our corporate data by enabling the likes of least privileged access. It also gives IT visibilities into what is actually happening beyond the scene by providing a comprehensive view into the way elevations are being happening across your environment. So it allows an organization to be able to run as a standard user, right? So let me just give you a quick demo into this endpoint privilege management. It's just like an interactive demo, right? So me as an end user, I need to run certain application on my PC, right? So I have the application stored in a particular file location, right? So I'm trying to access the file location. So it's a finance application. So I have the application here. So I'm trying to run it. As you can see, I couldn't run the application. This application has been blocked by your system administrator because I'm not a local admin. So what would I just do? I need to run this application for me to continue my work, right? So what I can just do is that I could just come to this application, I could just right click on it and request for an elevated access. As you can see for me, I can just right click on it, request for elevated access. So once I click on request for elevated access, I give a justification why I need to install the application, right? So once I give the justification, I send it across to the IT people, right? So as you can see from the cloud portal, that's from the Intune portal, you can see a new request, right? So as an IT admin, I'll get to verify, I'll get to read the whole thing, verify it. Then if I need to approve it, I would approve it. And if I need to deny it, I will deny it. Right? So this would help our end users to be able to work efficiently. Right? So after I've verified it, I can just approve it here. So once I approve it, the end user, let's go back to the end user. So going back to the end user, right? I will just go back to the application. Once I go back to the application, I'll just right click on it. Once I right click on it, I can now install the application. So there's no need for my IT support to start coming from the fourth floor to my, or coming from the 16th floor to meet me at the first floor before I can be able to install certain application, or before I can be able to perform certain tasks that requires privilege right? And before I can be allowed to do all these things, I can also bring in, you can also get to integrate the likes of multi-factor authentication, whereby whenever I want to request for this privilege right, it requests for multi-factor authentication. This is coming in soon, right? So this helps us to mitigate the likes of systemic risk and vulnerabilities of local admin within our environment, right? So moving step forward, I want to move to what is called the remote help. So now for remote help, looking at most organizations, of course, more people would actually require the likes of hands-on help for them to be able to do one or two things, right? So now, this remote help, it allows IT support, right, or IT help desk to be able to securely remote into end user's PC to troubleshoot and perform certain tasks that we need to do, right? So all actions actually being governed by the likes of role-based access, right? It's not as if because I'm an IT admin, I can start remoting to users' PC. No, you can also get to configure and integrate the likes of role-based access control into it, whereby you give people the exact role and right that they can use. And you could also get to enforce the likes of conditional access and policies within the remote help app, right? So as an help desk technician, I can now securely connect to both enrolled and unenrolled devices, right? Not just enrolled device. I can connect to both enrolled and unenrolled devices, right? Whereby I can initiate a session for me to be able to properly help users to troubleshoot their issues, right? And it also comes with the likes of advanced features, whereby you can also get to copy text, you can also get to transfer file from your local file, from your local PC into the remote PC that you are remoting to, right? So it gives you, or it gives an organization an efficient, a cost-effective way for it to be able to support users regardless of their location and provide a fast and a more consistent support, right? Organization security is actually also being increased with the likes of permission-based access control that I mentioned. Also, device compliance check. As an IT admin, if I want to remote into user's PC, if the user's PC is not compliant, I get to see it from the dashboard as well that this user's PC is not compliant. So if there's any need for me to maybe move it to the compliance team for them to evaluate that, I can also do that. And you can also get to integrate this remote help with the likes of incident management or ticket management solution, right? So with this remote help, it helps you to tackle different things. So you can remotely help users to fix their issue, whereby it allows IT and workers to connect securely, fortifying the likes of zero trust architecture, right? It also enable IT and help desk workers to respond to the likes of service issues quickly and efficiently, right? And it also has an easy and trusted way to connect to employees whenever they need the support, right? And we shouldn't forget that it is coming with the likes of role-based access control. Because as I'm an IT support, I can't just start connecting or remoting into anybody's PC, because you can get to use role-based control to control how this is actually being done, right? So let me just show you another interactive demo on it, even though I will still do the real demo on it, but let me just show you how it looks like here. So as an end user, maybe I need to do something on my PC, right? So I'll need to reach out to my IT support people that I need to do this thing. So from the Intune portal, they can just initiate a session control. Once they initiate a session control, they'll be able to connect remotely to my PC. So now this person needs to fix a particular application on her PC. So she had to initiate like a support request to the IT support people, right? So now, as you can see from this dashboard, once I am sorry, as you can see from this dashboard, right, I can get to troubleshoot the user's PC from here. I can get to see this is the name of the user that is having issue. I can see the device, I can see the group, I can see the list of applications, I can see the policies, I can see the update, I can see different things, right? I can also get to see the ticket, or maybe the incident or the ticket that has been resolved for that person, right? So now moving step forward. So now I need to remote into the person's PC, right? So this is the remote help app, right? From the Intune portal, I'll just initiate remote help. So once I initiate it, it automatically redirects me to the users. It redirects me to the remote help application, whereby the end user will also receive a notification from their end that so person is trying to remote into your PC to support you, right? And like I said, you can also get to integrate the likes of conditional access. So this is a conditional access policy whereby you are integrating it with the remote help, whereby you can bring in the likes of multi-factor authentication, the likes of passwordless, right? So now this has been integrated to this application here, right? So the end user is trying to remote into the user's PC from here. So passwordless will come in now. So now this is the application I want to sign in, right? So I need to use multi-factor authentication. I've used it, right? So I'm in. So I'm going to give the IT support the code that will be used to remote into my PC. So once I share the code with the person, right? So a warning will come in, right? Just for me to just a warning will come in that this person is trying to take over your screen. Either you are giving the person full control or you want to just view the person's screen. So you select the one you want. So once you select it, right? The next thing is that you get to see like a notification that this person is asking for full control on your device. Remember to close anything you don't want the person to see for privacy reasons, right? So once I allow the person, right? So as an admin, I said you would also get to see an option to verify if the user's device is actually compliant or not, right? So from here, I can see a warning that this person device you are helping is not compliant with your organization security policy. So exercise caution when entering sensitive information, right? So if there is any need for me to pass this device across to the compliance team, I can do that. And if I also want to continue to support the person, I can just click on OK, or I can click on leave, right? So let me just leave this. So once I click on leave, I can now remote into the person's PC. So this is the remote help application. I can get to transfer data from my local PC into this PC. I can copy and paste. I can also get to use the likes of what do you call these things? the likes of pen, right? So I can get to do different things from the PC, right? So that means with this remote help, I can securely connect. I can even initiate UAC as well, right? For administrative sessions, right? So this is how the remote help looks like, right? So I can now do anything. If I want to install application, I can get to install the application. If I want to troubleshoot the application, I can get to do that, right? With the remote help. So that's about remote help, right? I can also get to use the pen for me to be able to have a very interactive session with the user, right? So once I'm done, I can just click on leave, right? So once I click on leave, I'm done. So from the portal, I can also get to see the list of users that we've done remote help for, that we supported using remote help for compliance reasons, for documentation purpose as well, right? So with this remote help, you can have a secure and easy to use cloud-based remote assistant to your user, right? So moving forward, it also comes with what is called the application management. That's the advanced application management. So with this advanced application management, with Microsoft Intune Advanced Application Management, you can get to deploy applications to users' PCs, whereby you don't need to start getting worried about the update of the applications. So with Microsoft Intune now, you can now deploy a complete a complete MSI application or an ESC application, whereby you don't need to start wrapping the application using the likes of wrapping tool or prepackaging the applications, right? So you can securely host application catalog with this Microsoft Intune Advanced Management, which gives you the likes of increased IT efficiency, reduced security risks and vulnerabilities, and it also gives your application updates. So it makes your applications to stay updated and alerted, right? So that's about the advanced application management, right? Moving forward, I'll move to the next. So this is how the advanced application management looks like. So I can just go to the Intune portal, click on application, add application, then I select advanced application management. So I don't need to start uploading the application, unlike before that I will need to download the file of the application, then upload it, right? So that's about that. Then also, lastly, I'll speak about what is called the okay, this is advanced application management. I'll speak about advanced endpoint analytics, right? So now, looking at this advanced endpoint analytics, so it helps to transform your management activities. That's the management of your PC from reactive to being proactive using advanced insight, right? So here now, am I still audible? Can you give a thumbs up just to show that I'm still audible? Obianuju, can you hear me? Usman, can you hear me?
Hello, yes, Farouk, we can hear you.
Oh, okay,
Would
thank
like
you.
for you to would like for you to round up the session so that we can take Q&As, so that people can go about their businesses because we are running out of time. Many
Yeah,
other organizations that would like for a deep dive workshop, then we can take down their names and give them a workshop. So please, let's round up. It's almost
I'm
thank
almost
you.
done. This is my last. Yeah, so with this advanced endpoint analytics, it can help your organization to transform your management activities from being reactive to proactive using advanced insight. So here now, Microsoft they use a unique advantage to come up with the likes of signals across your window installed base applications as well as your users, right? So now this advanced endpoint analytics, it uses intelligence to detect the likes of anomalies and unexpected issues across your managed endpoint, and it gives and provide the likes of insight, right? Like I said, this advanced endpoint analytics, it helps you to detect and protect your tenants from the likes of devices with high, medium, and low anomalies within your environment, right? It also gives you the likes of visibility. That's it gives you visibility into your end user experience, right? It also gives you an efficiently troubleshooting and remediating actions. So all these things will help you to proactively address your endpoint performance issues. So with this endpoint analytics, you can get to perform different assessment. Let's say, for instance, now you want to upgrade your PC from a particular operating system version to another version, maybe from 10 to 11, and you want to assess the PC to know if this PC is actually eligible for Windows 11. So you can use the endpoint analytics to do that, right? So you can also, maybe you want to check the application performance in the PCs. I mean, you want to get the application performance in all the PCs that you have in your environment. You can also use the endpoint analytics to do stuff like that within your environment, right? So this gives you visibilities across your devices, right? So that's about the advanced endpoint analytics, right? So this Microsoft Intune suite, with this Microsoft Intune suite, this would help you to provide an advanced endpoint management and security capabilities into Microsoft Intune. So imagine you having all these things, all these capabilities: Intune remote help, advanced app management, tunnel for mobile device management, endpoint analytics, and advanced application management as well. Imagine you having all these things directly from one solution, right? Also, for those of us that make use of, or for organizations that make use of on-premise line of business application, so you can also use the tunnel for mobile application. Tunnel for mobile application management. You can use it to be able to connect your on-premise application into both your managed devices and unmanaged devices, whereby users can be able to manage those applications directly from those devices in a very secured way, right? So those are the things that you can get to achieve from the Microsoft Intune suite. We have a lot of customer reviews from customers that are using the Microsoft Intune suite. For example, now NHS, this is their review. I'm consistently impressed by the level of security Microsoft Intune provides. So now with Microsoft Intune Suite on Horizon, I feel even more confident that my company's data will remain safe. And the straightforward management and deployment of these policies will make it easy to ensure that all devices are secured, right? One thing you need to also understand is that with this Microsoft Intune Suite, you don't need to start writing code, or you don't need to start coming up with command lines before you can be able to configure, or before you can be able to manage these Intune Suite features. Everything is actually straightforward. We also have another reference, or another from another customer, which is Audi, right? I am eagerly waiting or awaiting the migration of all our mobile devices to Microsoft Intune Suite as our core unified endpoint management system. So they are looking into migrating all their devices into Microsoft Intune Suite for them to be able to properly manage their devices. So this is coming from a project owner from Audi, right? So now for the Microsoft Intune plan, we have different licenses for Microsoft Intune. We have the Intune Plan 1, we have the Intune Suite, which comes with the advanced endpoint capabilities, right? And we also have the Intune Plan 2. right? So these are the Intune license, right? For you to be able to use the Intune suite, you must have the Intune Plan 1, which comes with the regular license, the M365, E3, E5, F1, F3 Business Premium. So you must have the Intune Plan 1 before you can be able to use the Intune suite. That means you must have Intune Plan 1, then purchase the Intune suite for you to be able to make use of the advanced features. Then also we have the Intune Plan 2, which comes with the tunnel, the future advanced capabilities and special device management. So before you can use the Intune Plan 2, you must have Intune Plan 1 as well, right? And you can also get to all these capabilities also have add-on. So you can purchase the add-on for remote help, you can purchase the add-on for endpoint privilege management, the add-on for advanced endpoint analytics, right? If you don't want to purchase the entire package, you can purchase the add-on. So let's say it's an organization that want to use maybe remote help, you can purchase the add-on for it instead of you purchasing the entire Intune suite. But you purchasing the entire Intune suite will give you the complete capability, right? So now, Signal Alliance, we can have another comprehensive workshop with you on this endpoint management, whereby we would show you the features, would have the demo and everything with you. So Signal Alliance would help you discover the value of M365 and endpoint management with what is called the Endpoint Management with Security Workshop, right? So that's all about the Microsoft Intune and the Microsoft Unified Endpoint Management. So let's take the questions and let's address the questions that we have on the chat box. Let me check the questions.
Okay, so yes, Farouk, we have a question in the chat area. Someone was asking how much is the Intune plan because you had spoken about it. So he just asked, can you speak on the cost implication for the plans? Is that
Apart,
something you want to take?
yeah, so for the costing of the Intune plan, I don't really know the exact part, the exact cost, right? But it's a thing we can get and share it across.
Okay, so does anyone have any other question?
And in addition to
Kindly
that,
use the
so
chat area.
for the Intune suite, okay, let me address the cost. So for the Intune suite, it's $10 per user per month, right? While the Intune Plan 2 is $4, the Intune Plan 1 is $8. Although you can always start with a free trial, see how it looks like. You can set up a free trial, see how it looks like, then you can continue purchasing it. So dear Uju, okay, I can see the questions now. I couldn't see those questions before. Um
So someone just asked, does Intune replace SCCM in functionality?
okay, so Intune, it depends on the environment. So all the things that you can get to achieve from System Center Configuration Manager, you can also get to achieve it from Intune. So if it's an organization, if it's an hybrid organization that still want to maintain their System Center Configuration Manager, then you can get to co-balance both Intune and SCCM. That's what is called co-management, whereby you get to balance the workload between Intune and System Center. But if it's a fully cloud-based organization, right, you can get to fully utilize Microsoft Intune. So Microsoft Intune is not fully taking over System Center because we know that most organizations or most of the enterprise organization, they still want to operate in an hybrid form whereby they want to maintain their System Center. So you can get to co-balance it. But note that everything you are achieving from the System Center, you can also get to achieve it from Microsoft Intune, right? And it's now coming with an advanced features because it's a cloud-based solution whereby you don't need to be connected to the Office network before you can get to receive update policies, applications that were being pushed by Microsoft Intune. So that's about that. What other question do we have? Okay. Can you speak on the costs? Okay, I've spoken about that. How much? Can you drop them on the chat? Okay, so let me drop the cost on the chat so we all see it. But the cost also varies based on your your CSP provider. But the official price for the intern suite is this. Let me drop this. Right, for the intern plan 1, intern plan 2 is this. Oh, okay. Okay, Uju has dropped it already. Okay, thank you so much, Uju. I think,
You're welcome.
yeah, I think someone's hand is raised. Teresa.
Okay, so
Um,
Teresa, you can unmute yourself. Aditi, kindly unmute Teresa so that she can ask her questions.
um, Teresa, you can unmute yourself and ask. You can unmute your mic and ask the question.
Yes, thank you very much. Good afternoon. Thank you,
Good.
Farouk, for this insightful presentation. Um, Quick question. How do you address a situation? Because with test run this Microsoft Intune in my organization with a number of users, and the feedback we got was their no BYO, their mobile device. They don't want control. They don't want the organization to have control on their mobile device, sort of. Point where you have to set up the Intunes, you have some restrictions, some like a pin or code they need to use. So they don't want it. They say, okay, you can do the laptop, but not for their handheld device, not their phone. So how do you address their such concern users or most users have concerning their mobile device? Because they feel that, oh, IT, you have access to my mobile device, you can, do anything, you can see anything, you know. So how do you address that? That's my
Okay,
question.
so
Thank you.
yeah, thank you. Thank you for the question. I think it's a familiar question that we've been hearing from most customers. So first and foremost, for the Microsoft Intune, we have two management parts. We have the mobile device management and we have the mobile application management, right? So for the mobile application management, which the question is coming from. So now, number one, we are not enrolling the entire device, or we are not managing the entire device. We are managing the device from application level. So the way we used to go about in those kind of environments is that if we are done configuring the Microsoft Intune. So now we used to have like a webinar whereby we would get to explain to each users what this mobile application management is doing. It is not coming to protect, or it's not coming to manage your entire device. It is just coming for the application, right? It is just bringing the protection. And that's why on an example of maybe an Android phone, right, you have the work profile and the personal profile, whereby everything relating to your organization is in the work profile, whereby your personal data is in the personal profile, and everything, all your organization data, application files, everything is in the work profile, so that whenever you leave your organization, they can just from the back end retire your device and everything in the work profile would leave, whereby your personal information is still there. So it's about awareness. So what can resolve that is about awareness and informing them, training them, letting them know that this is what and what would be done, or this is what and what that will be managed by your device. I'm actually interested. Is she on the call, Madam Teresa?
Yes, I am here. I'm listening.
Yeah, so I'm actually interested in that. So I don't know if we can have another session with you. We can help you adopt the Intune properly, whereby we would train and educate your users on what and what Intune can get to do and what Intune would not do within your organization. But you should note that it is mobile application management that is coming in and not mobile device management. It's only if you want to manage your company-owned devices, that's when Intune can manage the entire device based on what you want to do. But for mobile application management, it is only managing the device from the application level.
Okay, thank you very much, Farouk. I think Usman would like to lend a voice to buttress your point. Usman, are you on the call?
Yeah. Okay. Good afternoon, Madam Teresa. Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you clearly.
All right. Thank you, Farouk, for that point. So another thing we can help you do, Madam Teresa, is that's where the tunnel for MEM comes in. So what the tunnel for MEM does is, okay, fine. You don't want your company to manage your device. So what the tunnel for MEM does is it provides you with a micro VPN services. So what it does is, perhaps when you want to log into your company organization, so it provides you with a VPN service to log in into your organization's data. So when you are done with it, it does what it logs you out back from the VPN services. So I wish I can show you a demo, but for now I won't be able to show you that demo. But I hope you try to get what I'm trying to say.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so are there more questions?
Okay, we have a question from Isia. You can speak. You can mute your mic and speak.
Okay, on the mobile bit, I want to say, okay, maybe more like one of my real life scenario. I have a client,
Okay.
right, that would be set up this for. What we did was, okay, the experience has been, the way we implemented it, it wouldn't disturb your phone by any way. Now, their use case was this. They had a lot of they had issues with kidnaps. And once they get these their staff, what they do is they take their phone and go to their data directly, right? So what we did was implement on their mobile, right, in such a way that if these kind of things happen, all you need to do remotely is just to click and delete that user profile. So
Yes.
it doesn't have anything to do with the mobile phone, right? It doesn't disturb the mobile phone, they had anything at all. You can use but anytime you want to use your application that is synonymous to your organization, enterprise-wide, you just log in. I'm just trying to add an experience of the mobile layer management as far
Yes.
what is being said.
Yeah, thank you so much. That's mobile application management. Yeah, thank you so much for that.
Thank you very much. Thank you. That was very insightful. Thanks for your contribution. Okay, does anyone have any other questions? In the absence of no question, if your organization would like a deep dive workshop or further training, kindly respond to me with your email addresses or send an email to oikebune@saconsulting.ai. That is oikegbune@saconsulting.ai. You can check the chat area for the information. So are there any other questions?
In addition to what you mentioned, Obianuju, yeah, so we can have a deep dive workshop with you, whereby we would even have a demo, a real demo with you, so that you can get to see everything from a real environment. We couldn't do that now because of time, right? So we can always get to do that with you if you want a deep down presentation or workshop on that. Okay, I think we have someone has dropped. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Olumide.
Okay, thank you everyone for your time. Thank you for joining in on the call. I'll just give a little time for more people to drop their email addresses or still send me an email. My email address is oikebune@saconsulting.ai. That is oikegbune@saconsulting.ai. I already dropped that in the chat area. Do have an amazing day and thank you for your time. Farouk, thank you. Usman, all our contributors and everyone who asked questions and listened in. Thank you very much for your time and do have an amazing day ahead. Bye, everyone.